Attention, if you are a single white woman living in Japan, I know an 8.5 out of 10. An 8.5 out of 10, ladies. Tall white man employed as a programmer in the US who is currently open, but probably only briefly so. You better hurry up, you know? I know y'all are gonna be falling over each other. I saw a commercial once for a deodorant where there's like all these attractive women and they turn into animals and they just all chase after this one guy and there's like a sea of them. I imagine this is what's gonna happen in my DMs.
In jail. England. Because Romania's failed, so England's picked up. And England's coming at me with all this garbage and they're gonna try and charge me soon with some imaginary crime.
Whoops.
Okay, so that is Andrew Tate, who I guess people are like trying to lock up for like the crimes he's committed and bragged about for years. And it's all a big shady thing, except that it's not. And we're gonna talk about why he was arrested, because he was arrested again. But we're gonna talk about sort of the meta conversation about the arrest, because.
Well, that is the funniest part about this whole thing. Let's turn to the Rolling Stone. Andrew Tate was arrested after Adin Ross blabbed about his escape plans. The influencer read Tate's messages about plans to, quote, leave Romania and never come back out loud on a kick stream last week. The influencer Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan Tate were arrested by Romanian authorities on Monday on UK charges based on a tip that they had to plan to flee Romania. Information that was revealed on a kick livestream by their friend and fellow alpha male streamer Adin Ross. So this is alpha male behavior. I gotta learn. You know, I'm a lambda myself, not as alpha as all these bros, sometimes just a little too soy, but this doesn't seem very alpha. Doesn't seem very loyal, dog, you know, to just be basically snitching on your close friends and getting them in trouble again. So if you weren't fully aware, Andrew Tate has a long history of sexual assault, accusations both of sexual assault, accusations of grooming, accusations of human trafficking. The list goes on and on and on. And there was an individual in the UK who gave police a recording that she had made of Andrew Tate admitting to sexually assaulting her and strangling her violently. And in that recording, which a lot of Andrew Tate fans have now since come out and said is fake or AI, even though I believe it was from like 2012. That recording has been verified by the UK police as being authentic, so the recording itself is real. You know, Andrew Tate has been doing a lot of work over the last couple of years to be able to try and avoid facing legal ramifications for his horrifying behavior. And one of the reasons why he moved to Romania in the first place is that he felt it had very lax laws, or at least not a lot of policing or oversight when it comes to, say, human trafficking or exploiting people sexually for profit, which is what Andrew Tate engages in. There is the numerous amount of times that Andrew Tate has admitted on camera to doing the horrifying things that he does, including giving people tips on how to actually engage in human trafficking and stuff like that. There's also numerous clips of him and his brother admitting to having sex with underage women when they are older and adults. He admitted to having sex with a 16-year-old, and the defense from a lot of people was that that is actually the age of consent in the UK. His brother has also stated a lot grosser things to women who are even younger, as well as, you know, them making videos on the topic. In fact, Tristan Tate has a video, and it's amongst their grossest shit, about how to take like teenagers' virginities away and how to date virgins, and the whole thing is about how you've got to pretend that you're like their boyfriend, even though you're like, you know, sleeping with lots of other women, but while you pretend that you're their boyfriend, eventually like they'll like, you know, they'll give you their virginity and then you move on to like just gross ass shit that you'd expect from, again, two complete scumbags. According to a legal representative for McHugh Law, the firm representing 4 British women accusing Tate of rape and sexual assault, UK judicial authorities issued a warrant for their arrest and extradition on sexual abuse charges after, quote, we were informed by one of our contacts that an associate of Tate, Adin Ross, had discussed Tate's intention to flee during a video on the gaming and live streaming platform Kick. In the clip viewed by Rolling Stone, Ross appears to be reading direct messages from Tate. Well, I mean, do we have a copy of that? We do.
Andrew had hit me up. He said, hey, I'm going to be leaving Romania soon and probably never coming back. If you want to come over and do a week of long streams and content before I leave, I think it'll be big. And I'm sorry, he said it's basically now or never. So, and this is just, I told you guys this year, you know, it's a week of content, right?
If you didn't know, the Tate brothers had been temporarily discharged from prison, but they were still under house arrest, and they were most likely not allowed to leave the country. Again, this is still ongoing. So if there was proof that they were a flight risk, such as this right here, what he just did, so this is the proof that he's in fact a flight risk. This is someone claiming that he had direct communication from Andrew Tate and then revealed what that direct communication was. And like, if it was anyone else, I would say that this is just kind of sabotage, you know? This is kind of like, you can play the Succession music. Somebody who is already, you know, taken quite a bit of Andrew Tate's audience, because there's been a lot of crossovers. There's the Andrew Tate and Adin Ross infamous stream where as soon as Andrew Tate walked off camera, Adin Ross walked up to his seat and then started snorting his ass sweat. So there's that. Adin Ross has always played fast and loose with some of the worst characters, public figures available. And certainly there would be some overlap between, I'm guessing, the cross collaboration of the two audiences. So there's some Andrew Tate fans who are now Adin Ross fans, and yeah, so you could state previously that this was simply a power move, but I don't think he's that clever. I don't think that he knows how to play Succession. So I mean, if anything, I think this was just a whoopsie as he got Andrew Tate in a fuck ton of trouble and got him back in jail, actually. Besties don't snitch on each other, but I guess controversial kick streamer Adin Ross didn't get that memo. According to a recent Rolling Stone report, the 20-something content creator accidentally ratted out his homie Andrew Tate during a live stream sometime this week, which apparently landed the self-professed internet misogynist back behind Romanian prison bars following a UK arrest warrant. On March 12th, Rolling Stone confirmed that the Tate brothers, Andrew and Tristan, were re-arrested by Romanian authorities based on a tip they received about the duo's plan to leave Romania. While it's unclear who delivered the tip, the publication noted that the firm McCoo Law, which represents the women accusing the Tates of rape and sexual assault, learned about the brothers' plans via a Kicks live stream. I still can't believe this happened. By Adin Ross, a friend of the Tates. As Rolling Stone discovered by viewing a clip from the stream, at one point Ross read a direct message from Andrew to his viewers, saying that if you want to come, we're leaving Romania soon and probably never coming back. It's basically now or never. The Tates were previously arrested in December 2022, employing something Andrew referred to as the loverboy method. The duo lured in and subjugated women using intimidation and surveillance, and through manipulation and abuse coerced them into performing in exploitative videos, authorities have claimed. A spokesperson for the Tates told Rolling Stone that neither of them intended to flee Romania to dodge judicial proceedings, explaining why Ross may have misconstrued Andrew's message. Eugene Vidanak, Tate's counsel, said that there's no truth to what Ross read live, ardently expressing the brothers' intent to actively participate in the legal process in order to defend their reputation. Maybe, but can't chance it. Could be a complete fabrication. Could actually not be something that Andrew Tate said. Could be, again, Adin Ross suddenly reaching for the crown. He wants to become the top male misogynist, red pillar extraordinaire, and, you know, everything that comes with it. Next, he'll have to take out Sneeko. So look out, Sneeko. Apparently, Adin Ross is going to be leaking some information about you soon, if that's the plan. But if that's not true, and in fact, he was just being, let's just say, dumb and leaking all of that information, in which case, then yes, there's a very plausible case for him being a massive flight risk. Both of the brothers, actually. So probably a good thing that you got them detained while you find out whether or not this is true.
Today, Romanian courts decided that the brothers can be extradited to the UK. So notably, the judge said that that will have to wait until after the trial in Romania. And with this, the Tates' representatives gave a statement to the media shutting down.
Oof, that's not good. That's not good. So you got to get through the first human trafficking / sexual assault trial, then potentially get extradited to the UK to face the other sexual assault trial that you could be in trouble for.
Down the accusations out of the UK, saying both brothers are dismayed and adding, they categorically reject all charges and express profound disappointment that such serious allegations are being resurrected without substantial new evidence, and saying they are fully committed to challenging these accusations with unwavering determination and resolve. Right in this, as it's not the first time that Andrew's been accused of sexual assault in the UK, though notably the authorities decided not to prosecute him previously. Right now, details about the specific claims in the new warrant remain unclear, but one London-based law firm has actually chimed in on this, with McHugh Jury and Partners releasing.
Which, by the way, is super fucked up. Like, looking into that, I remember learning for the first time, I believe it was Vice who did a documentary, and they played the, like, harrowing and horrifying phone call recording of Andrew Tate admitting to sexual assault as well as strangling someone. But the statistic came out that, like, 1 in 100 cases of, sexual assault brought to the police in the UK lead to a charge and conviction. 1 in 100? 1%? That's, like, absolutely horrifying.
releasing a statement saying it represents 4 British women who accused Andrew of rape as well as physical and sexual assault, claims that were subject of an investigation in the UK, with him adding that they became aware today that he had been detained over allegations during the same period in which our clients alleged Tate raped and assaulted them. And then continuing, last week we received information that Tate might have been planning to flee Romania. We wrote to the British police to bring this to their attention and to urge them to immediately seek a warrant for Tate's detention in Romania and extradition to the UK. And going on to say, while we cannot and do not comment on any knowledge of ongoing investigations, we are grateful that the British authorities have decided to take action and take heed of our concerns and the concerns of our clients. Tate is accused of serious criminal offenses against a large number of victims and must be held accountable for those actions. And also, here's what's kind of wild with all this. As for how they may have been tipped off that Andrew was considering leaving Romania, well, a lot of people's fingers are pointing at none other than Adin Ross. Right? He's one of the biggest streamers in the world. He is a friend to Tate. But the reason people are pointing to him is because during one of his live streams, this happened.
Andrew had hit me up. He said, hey, I'm going to be leaving Romania soon and probably never coming back. If you want to come over and do a week of long streams and content before I leave, I think it'll be big. And I'm sorry, he said it's basically now or never.
And in fact, this is no longer just a theory. A legal representative for McHugh Law told Rolling Stone it was Adin Ross who kicked this off. Though notably, with this, a spokesperson for the Tates told the bid is like weapons grade level. But to see the friendly fire go down like this was wild. Now that said, following all this news, we've seen Free the Tate.
Oh, I know. There's still so many people who believe that Andrew Tate is innocent. And like, honestly, the shitty thing about Andrew Tate and his incredible success and how far he's basically damaged entire generations of young male minds is that at the end of the day, Andrew Tate fucking hates men. I know the whole thing is marketed as, men's rights, pro-men, defeat the matrix, escape, and then you can actually take control of your life. And I'm going to give you all the tools to do so. But he just turns men into horrifying, women-hating monsters who will not be more successful at getting women as long as they openly think all the causes of their problems are women while grifting the fuck out of them. Just like, squeezing them for every fucking penny. Like, you don't say, hey, by the way, I want to help you. Oh, thank you. Yes, all you got to do is sign up for this very expensive course, and then I'll help you. Okay, and in that course, I'm going to teach you how to get rich and break free from the matrix. Oh, okay, cool. How? NFTs, cryptocurrency, that kind of shit. Yeah. The information I will give you is the same stuff that you can find online basically anywhere, but you're going to pay a lot of money to hear it from me. But in addition to that, I'll also tell you how to have that swag. You're also going to be able to smash that box because I'm just going to tell you how to, make you the greatest fucking pickup artist of all time. Women are going to really love you after you come out of the Andrew Tate course and say, I'm a big fan and graduate of the Andrew Tate course. I hate women. That's really, really going to make women excited to want to be with you. Yes, someone who decidedly just hates all women. Yeah, hopefully it didn't cost too much money along the way.
Innocent men, and in time, everybody's going to see.
The humiliation ritual is part of the satanic cabal conspiracy. Or are you talking about everyone talking about John Cena? Like, that one's extra silly to me. It's like, yeah, John Cena has been completely emasculated and force feminized in the humiliation ritual of showing up naked with an incredible physique. So comfortable with his incredible physique he is that he was willing to do this joke. What happened to everyone? Why are they all such snowflakes now? When I was a lad in the 90s, every single fucking slapstick comedy had a dude be naked because it was funny. What about Jackass? Half the sketches are the dudes running around fucking with their dongs flopping all over the place and they're just dudes being silly. This is just a thing. And like, male nudity suddenly wasn't like, well, all of them have engaged in the emasculation ritual. Yes. But do you want men to have to be just as like, they must cover their skin at all times. Men cannot show the knees, even the tantalizing male knee. No, that'll be too much. No, it'll drive the women wild. It will, and then gay men won't be able to resist when they see the male knee protruding. Ever so like, what are we doing here? I thought this was the funniest thing to happen on the internet, but I was wrong. This was one of two things that happened yesterday simultaneously. Again, a gay Christmas part 2 for everybody. Yes, gay. As in wondrous, joyous, jubilant, because we got to talk about Stonetoss. Stonetoss. Yes, Stonetoss. The world's most famous neo-Nazi cartoonist, the most popular far-right cartoon on the internet. Someone who is both infamous and horrifying and terrible and has been working for a long time. Produces those. You've probably seen a Stonetoss character or comic just because they're used so liberally amongst like right-wingers. Sometimes you don't even think of right-wingers intentionally trying to promote a Stonetoss comic. The other thing about Stonetoss is that his drawings, they're very simplistic. They're kind of like, you know, cutesy style, simple, not a lot of complex. You know, it's not a Ben Garrison. Let's say that. It's certainly not a Ben Garrison where there's a lot of horny details going down and everything's labeled and they point out everywhere where all the stuff is coming from and all that kind of thing. Like, it's not that. The Stonetoss is decidedly very simple comics, usually involving multiple themes of extreme anti-Semitism, very, very anti-LGBTQ+. He loves talking about how gay people apparently are obsessed with poo or something, where it seems a lot more like he's obsessed with poo. I'm going to give a quick disclaimer notice that both, I believe this falls under the TOS terms of service of Twitch, as well as my own personal beliefs. I am not here to endorse or promote doxing or the act of doxing. That is something that has actually happened to me a lot fairly recently. There's a lot of people who are popping up in my replies trying to post pictures that I've never made publicly available, or, you know, post the full name of myself or even like family members sometimes in an attempt to try and frighten me or scare me. It is horrifying when it happens, especially when people become obsessed and they keep on doing it over and over and over again. And obviously it can be a very scary reality. I do want to stress though that I am a front-facing public figure. You are not looking at an AI simulation right now. This is me, actually. This is actually myself. This is not a VTube a fake representation. You probably already know a very extensive amount of my own personal life in that I share it publicly with people. You know that I have a Métis mother. You know that my father, you know, came from, his family came from Catalonia, moved to Chile, where he was born in Santiago. Things like that. I've been very forthcoming with my own story and stuff because I'm not really ashamed of any of that. But the reason why I usually say Lance of the Serfs instead of other stuff is that I try just to keep a little bit of a distance because I cover a lot of fascies, alt-right, really bad people between that and family members who may get pulled into against their will into the whole phrase. So we're not here to endorse the act of doxing. So that would be the methodology in which the true identity of Stonetoss have been revealed. If you haven't read the story already, what occurred was that there was a massive leak of information from Gab. Gab is, of course, a far-right social media company. They got hacked. I believe it was anonymous, but I could be wrong on that. Anonymous hacked them and revealed a whole bunch of information. People were then able to use that information to collaborate the emails of both the Red Panels and the Stonetoss as being one and the same for both accounts that were formed, and then correlate that with other instances on the internet where Stonetoss appeared multiple times, at which point that has been revealed and multiple large accounts have now reported on it, and it's even gone all the way to now becoming a part of Know Your Meme as public information. So it's gone from something that, again, was previously unknown to now is pretty wildly reported that this is, in fact, who Stonetoss is. Now, learning who Stonetoss is, we can get to the absolutely fucking hilarious bits of the story, because this is, without question, I would say the funniest Nazi comic book origin story I think I've ever seen. I thought Libs of TikToks was pretty funny, just in how like silly it is when, like, you know, the higher right check's being interviewed and basically Taylor Lorenz is like, hey, by the way, what got you into all of this? What made you hate, you know, LGBTQ plus people or stuff like that? Do you know any? She's like, no. Did you have any friends or family who are LGBT? No. So what is it that radicalized you? The COVID lockdowns. The COVID lockdowns. Yeah, the COVID lockdowns. Just seeing how they lied to us and you know, masks, the COVID measures, that the government lies. We're a nation of truth and we seek the truth, you know, kind of shit, where it's like, okay. And then what made you hate LGBTQ plus people? The stuff I saw online. Are you gonna elaborate on that? What was it, 4chan? Was it, you know, r/poll? Where exactly were you really mad about this? You know, and in this case, if you don't already know this, nothing can prepare you for the origin stories of Stonetoss. And as we're speaking about Stonetoss, by the way, I do want to point out, because some people might not be completely familiar with his cartooning style, it is quite insidious in that he does far right and sometimes just straight up neo-Nazi propaganda in, again, a very cutesy, simplistic art style that's supposed to have broad appeal. And a lot of people share his comics thinking that they're innocuous, not even knowing who created them or why. You'll find a lot of times that sometimes people who are, you know, reactionaries or TERFs or stuff like that will have liked someone posting a Stonetoss cartoon without knowing how much of a neo-Nazi Stonetoss is. But make no mistake, the works of Stonetoss have appeared in a number of racist mass shooters who have posted either alterations of Stonetoss's work or included Stonetoss's work inside either their manifestos or other stuff like that. I won't be reading their names, obviously, because I try to avoid reading the names of racist mass shooters on the stream. But there's a reason why Stonetoss has had the level of success he has. He is also newsworthy. I will state this because Stonetoss has not only managed to, again, get and push through into a lot more mainstream spaces than normally people who are doing neo-Nazi rhetoric or cartoons have. Again, it seems like an innocuous cartoon style. You're just kind of like, oh, okay, well, what's the big deal? You know, I would recommend, and we played a little bit of it, Mildred's video on Stonetoss to kind of go through the history of how Red Panels was just like an out and proud kind of like fascist publication, and then eventually, you know, it closed down, and then we saw the birth of the Stonetoss cartoon. There wasn't direct evidence at the time that this was in fact the same person. The investigation that had been done here not only, you know, went to the trouble of trying to connect and collaborate publicly available information on the individual that he had posted, either, you know, YouTube, Facebook, that kind of stuff that's already publicly available, collaborate that with interviews that Stonetoss has done. Back in the day, Stonetoss did a couple interviews with, say, Sargon of Akkad, or something called the Kill Stream, and then in those interviews you can see that the individual in fact does sound very similar. That's again supplemental evidence to everything else that's been said. A lot of Stonetoss's cartoons, and content warning by the way, these are going to most likely be racist, anti-Semitic, transphobic, homophobic, you name it. Stonetoss pretty much does every single one of them. Characters that look like rabbis, what do you think they're doing down there? Probably ordinary stuff, so straight up blood libel, you know, going on here. Making fun of numerous, you know, civil rights movements, and George Floyd's murder being made into, you know, that's absolutely hilarious. More George Floyd murder comedy, anti-LGBTQ plus comedy. We're not hurting anybody. You know, they're one and the same. The flags, they're saying leave us alone. Why can't you leave the racists alone? Got you. Don't shoot. I'm a Nazi too. Prove it. There are two genders. See, it's actually the LGBTQ plus who are the Nazis. Behold the power of our community. This is making fun of trans people unaliving themselves. So absolutely hilarious. Oh, the topic of circumcision. Why this hospital where they do genital surgery on kids, only circumcision? Oh, walking away. Stonetoss has quite a few apparently comics on circumcision and is a bit of a focus on some of his work. Obviously, it's unusual that Stonetoss, of all people, who is obviously making a lot of cartoons and comics that are incredibly racist, horrifying, anti-Semitic, also is choosing circumcision as something that he's focused on, and that'll come up later in the weirdest of ways. This is Red Panels, the other comic book that Stonetoss is accused of having created. Stonetoss denies it. This was the last Red Panels comic book ever, doing the end of Terminator 2 and then the Nazi salute right at the very end, being like, hey, by the way, everyone, just so you know, it's true. I am in fact a Nazi. Just want to make that clear, because a lot of people sometimes will be like, well, you call everyone Nazis, you leftists. You call everyone you don't like Nazis. You're always just like, that's a Nazi. This is a Nazi. And it's like, in this case, this is an individual who seems to be proud of that. I know a lot of right-wingers usually like to take a big distance from that. Obviously, an obsession with LGBTQ plus people and feces is a common theme, both in Red Panels and eventually in his work as Stonetoss later on. More of that kind of stuff. So on his Patreon profile page, he writes, "Sup, my fellow thought criminals, it's Stone, creator of Stonetoss Comics here. I am manufacturing the psychic chemotherapy necessary to cure the world of the mental cancer spread by the likes of the assigned male, liberalism in parentheses, aka speaking about Jewish people, just straight up dog whistling, and soy-based dieting." Soy-based dieting. That one's also interesting. This is what Stonetoss sounds like, debating classical liberalism with anarcho-capitalism with Red Panels.
So what are the sort of philosophical roots of this? Where do you draw your sort of supporting arguments?
I guess it started out with just plain libertarianism and an appreciation for individual rights. And then I started asking myself, you know, what if I'm going to delineate what is just or unjust use of force? What, you know, if we hold that tyranny is unjust, but you know, democratic society is just, then where do we draw the line? so I became very interested in this notion of logical consistency in terms of applying it to your philosophical model.
Mm-hmm.
And what I ended up concluding is that a lot of rules that people make in terms of government, you know, like you, for instance, you would hold that stealing would be bad, right? Stealing would be immoral, but somehow it is not immoral for the state to compel you to pay for things that you may not agree with.
And now, something even more interesting. Avenatti losses, Trump trolls Obama, Stonetoss live, and Caravan Insanity. So this was, quote, red panels. That's what red panels sounds like. And now we have Stonetoss talking about red panels as if it was a separate person.
So, so I went and looked at it, and I was like, wait a minute, this is the guy who did red panels back in the day, was it? And you are, aren't you? Or I'm not mistaken there.
I appreciate the comparison. But you know, I'm not going to try to steal red panels thunder. We've spoken, but I don't want to give away too much about his position. I don't know what I can share about that. But thank you so much. I'm flattered.
I'm flattered. Wow, that's a pretty intense thing to be flattered to be compared to. He worked as a security guard at a soy factory, which is interesting, considering that that was one of the things that he was supposed to destroy. You can't really make this stuff up, you know, especially the name being Hans. I saw so many tweets and memes yesterday that were like, this has got to be the most like wild, you know, Nazi Ubermensch sounding name possible. But he eventually did move to Japan for a little while and worked for a company who's got a whole bunch of videos published, which is where a lot of these photos come from, publicly available on their Facebook and stuff like that, showing, again, the alpha male working with this company. There's Stonetoss's official accounts stating finally made it to the ethno-state fellas, as in when he moved to Japan. So the timelines of this also sync up as to when he started tweeting from Japan and he moved to Japan, to him stating to, you know, them tracking down who it was who was working for this company. This is one of the funniest things possible. Attention, if you are a single white woman living in Japan, I know an 8.5 out of 10. An 8.5 out of 10, ladies. Tall white man employed as a programmer in the US who is currently open, but probably only briefly so. You better hurry up, you know? I know y'all are going to be falling over each other. I saw a commercial once for a deodorant where there's like all these attractive women and they turn into animals and they just all chase after this one guy and there's like a sea of them. I imagine this is what's going to happen in my DMs. So if you want to be the first one there, you know, if you want to be the first, you better drop quick, because this offer expires very, very quickly. Hit the DMs for details. And just once again, this is the 8.5 out of 10 that you will be experiencing if you are capable. Again, you have to be a white woman, though, so make sure you know that. But yeah, holy shit, I just realized you can drop the N-word in Japan and nobody cares. Cool. Cool stuff. Cool stuff, brah. It's released an NFT series during the height of NFTs and ended up making almost $2 million, actually no, over $2 million, which is an incredible amount of money for, again, a neo-Nazi and someone who promotes a neo-Nazi style propaganda network that Stonetoss has to be making. Very, very frightening. That's just one event, by the way, and that's one of the ones that we publicly know of because, again, all that stuff is on the blockchain, so you can see how much of the NFTs that Stonetoss was making. Many of the NFTs, by the way, were, of course, like classic Stonetoss, distinctly racist characters that were promoted, obviously horrifying. And yeah, again, I have to bring up the fact that Stonetoss is a little bit obsessed with circumcision and has made it kind of a key of some of his comic books. They tracked down a Reddit poster to Stonetoss, the same one who appears numerous times posting all over Reddit under the moniker Scythe001, and the same poster shows a particular obsession with circumcision, a theme that carried over in Stonetoss and Red Panel cartoons. They also stated that he regularly donated to, quote, foreskin regeneration medical firms. In one deleted but archived post, he explained a little bit about his preoccupation with circumcision, and it goes as follows. I am circumcised. The resulting dryness of my glans penis, the limited range, if my penile skin to glide, and the psychosexual body image dysmorphia makes it difficult to achieve orgasm during coitus and encumbers masturbation. in that, yes, absolutely. If you happen to have a circumcision, and especially if you have medical complications that come afterwards, that is horrifying and something that needs to be discussed more, I'd say, openly. Separate from that, if you become a neo-Nazi and you've made circumcision a centerpiece of a lot of your anti-Semitic comic books that you have released, as Stonetoss has, he has numerous anti-Semitic comic books and often focuses on circumcision in relation to Jewish people almost exclusively. Yeah, that's fucking wild that this could in fact be a part of the entire thing.
Valuable artifacts. What I love the most is this person with the tattoo Die Cis, which is German for the cis. And I'm assuming that's German. It doesn't mean Die Cis because, Red Panels is a Nazi, so I assume he speaks German, is throwing Biology 101 into the fire. One of the big book burnings that the Nazis did was the Institute of Sex Research's work, which was...
interesting how that's coming up once again, because it seems to be a part of history that is a little bit difficult for all of the transphobes to swallow. Seems like the TERFs and the transphobes get to a certain point where it's like, you're doing a lot of the same things and advocating for the same things that the Nazis did. And it's like, well, that's not true. Oh, that's a fever dream. How dare you say such things?
Says what? It's normal. Let's follow this logic to its terminus. So obviously anal sex is wrong because you wouldn't put a hot dog up your butt. Therefore,
also, straight people have anal sex. They do the anal sex too. I mean, not all straight people, but straight people can have anal sex. I'm not talking about, a dude having sex with another dude. That wouldn't be a straight act. I'm talking about a straight man having sex with a straight woman and having anal sex instead of vaginal sex. That also happens. So I don't think every straight person, when they see a hot dog, is like, oh, this could also penetrate me at any given time. I mean, yeah. What am I honestly supposed to do? Not penetrate myself? What else do you do with the phallic object of any kind?
Heterosexual penetrative sex is wrong.
Straight men also get pegged by straight women. That's true. And they're still straight. Yeah, I mean, they could be bisexual, they could be pansexual, there's nothing wrong with that, and they could say that that's actually part of it for them, but they could also just be 100% straight, good old boys who want to get pegged, little Peggy Weggy, become Simon Pegg, Pegasaurus Rex, that kind of stuff. That's also, it's a thing that happens, I know.
And he's like, ha ha ha, take that, everybody. And the atheist guy doesn't like that for some reason, even though it seems like he would kind of be down with that.
And then Stonetoss puts in the last one.
The last guy putting the Holocaust in the fiction section.
I guess this is like the self-caricature, this is him. The implication here, just to be clear, is that this is a woman, and that because this person said dude, it was a misgendering, and the person is being arrested. This is the fear that Jordan Peterson is trying to put in everyone's brains. It isn't real, though. That's it.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Can you please hit the like and subscribe button and maybe leave a comment? It really does help the videos out. But first, the people who produce everything you see before you and make this entire channel possible: Amazing Fletch, Anna Loves Riley, Ariane McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Multi Mondi, Omni, Peanut Butter Blondie, Political Puppy, Quiet 185, Rachel K, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Ruby K, Cernicus, Spinach Monster, Stellar Vision, Sebastian DeMel, Trevbot.exe, Words Greenwood, and Travis McClinton. And also, thank you to every other person who helps fund this show. Their names are on the screen right now. It would not be possible without every single one of them. We cannot thank you enough. And if you want to join the Patreon, please come to patreon.com/theserfs and help us exist.